bikers out there. Your two favorite uncles back here for Cinephellas. I'm Logan Myers. It's my good mate over there.
What's going on, guys? I'm Henry Hill. Tonight we've got a great movie for you guys. Tonight we're reviewing the summer blockbuster that just came out in theaters a couple weeks ago. George Miller's back, taking us back into that wild wasteland, post-apocalyptic world he's created here. Obviously, first with the Mad Max movies, then we had Fury Road, and we're following it up with a prequel to Fury Road. It's all about Furiosa. We're talking about Furiosa, a Mad Max Saga.
The question is, do you have it in you to make it epic?
That's right. These wild boys are back to talk about the brand new prequel film with Anya Taylor-Joy playing Furiosa, of course, played by Charlize Theron in the 2015 film. And the setup of the movie is much like Dune, out in the desert. And, she's a young girl at this time. She gets kidnapped by these biker goons. And she basically gets dropped off and introduced to the character Dementis, played by Chris Hemsworth, and his putty nose.
It was not a prosthetic. That was actually his nose. It was a whole different character, wasn't it? It really added to his character. And, right away when we heard that Chris Hemsworth was cast, he's a big star. So would we be able to separate the man, we know as Thor from this character? And pretty much right away, with the help of the prosthetic nose, but also just to a great performance in general, he inhabits this villainous character and is able to have us sympathize with him as viewers because he has his own backstory of losing one of his family members. So you can kind of see from his viewpoint what he's after too. And it kind of pits both Furiosa and Dementis against one another. But this is just a balls to the wall action the whole time, exciting, pulse pounding. It's what we expect, especially at Fury Road. Fury Road was just balls to the wall, epic and beautifully shot. A lot of drama behind the scenes between Tom Hardy and Charlize Theron, but man, they made a kick-ass movie. And George Miller's came back into this universe and has made another awesome film, bringing you into this world, this post-apocalyptic world. And this time it's Anya Taylor-Joy, like you mentioned. So we're dealing with a younger version of Furiosa here, and you find out, what she had to go through on that journey to become that character that we remember from Fury Road. You see the scene where she loses the arm and gets the robotic arm, how that happens. And, one action set piece after the other. Really, it's just pure action.
Yeah, I was thinking to myself, do we really need a prequel, Furiosa? And then watching, I'm like, yes, we do. Because it's really building on that world where, Fury Road was just balls to wall action, crazy space and everything, just a lot of action in that movie and flames and people flying off cars and shit. This is more of like character building, obviously getting a backstory with the character and how she became this character we know for Fury Road. And I really liked how they set that up. I think Anya Taylor-Joy doesn't show up until probably about 45 minutes, hour into the movie, halfway through the movie, because she's the younger girl. And we see her as a character with the shaved head and everything. And finally introduced to that an older version, Anya Taylor-Joy. And I thought she did a really, really great job in this movie. She's hit or miss for me. I like some roles, others I don't. But I thought this one, she really knocked it out of the park. Even the action fight scenes, I thought she was really great and believable, and she really brought that emotion and heart to this character and this badass woman.
That's one thing I was wondering. Could she, be as, physical in this role, knowing she's a small girl, skinny girl, but man, she is furious as Furiosa should be. She really, puts up a fight, and her acting has always been great. We've been watching her career blossom over the years. So we both knew she could pull it off, and she really does. It's kind of hard seeing the juxtaposition between the scenes of Fury Road that they show us through the film, where you actually see Charlize Theron as Furiosa and you see Anya Taylor-Joy. They don't look anything alike, But if you can put that away, it's fine, and you won't even think about it like us. Really, it didn't take us out of the movie or anything. And yeah, like you mentioned, the way that George Miller puts this together, it is more, it's not just action. There's some story here too along the way, but the way he breaks it up into several different parts along the way. I think there's 4 or 5 different parts, maybe even more. Can't remember exactly, but it flows very well, and you're never bored. It always is switching it up, taking you to a different location in this world where the stakes, keep getting higher as the film goes on, and it leads up into this epic, showdown between Dementis and Furiosa. But man, this was a great theatrical experience. It's a shame to see that not a lot of people went out to the theaters to see this. That's kind of a bummer. So I don't know if they're going to be able to budget the, Miller's Wasteland, which is what he wants to do next. He'd like to go back to this world. He says he has more stories to tell. Whether we get that now is kind of up in the air, but hopefully, word of mouth, especially from reviews and from us telling people to go see it, maybe it'll give it more life, and hopefully, when it comes home to streaming and, you're able to go grab a copy in physical media, it'll breathe new life into it and people will get to see this and really enjoy it. But man, it's balls to the wall. You want to see this in the theater, just the music, the score, the action, all the sound effects, everything. It really feels like you're right in the middle of the action.
Yeah, that's right. Uncle George Miller does it again. I was like, holy shit, could he do just as good? And he definitely does. Fury Road obviously being better. Incredible movie, pretty perfect movie, but he did a great job with this movie. And, us as fans kind of being skeptical about it, being on the fence about it, and then going in and having a blast with it. That's something really remarkable here. And I loved all the characters. My favorite being Chris Hemsworth. I thought he played it cartoonish. He reminded me much of like Jack Sparrow or somebody like that
Mm-hmm.
with a prosthetic, nose and
Mm-hmm.
everything. He really sold it. He put his heart and soul playing a villain, and I think he needs more villainous roles in his future. I thought he did a really, really great job in this. Skeletor Mask, Immortan Joe, played by a different actor than since the last one because that guy died. Um, was in this movie, and we're getting some more backstory, essentially how that's tied to Furiosa. Dementis basically sells her off to Immortan Joe, and she grows up to be, older, like a woman to have his kids, basically keep the population going, and she escapes from that, older. So it was cool, like seeing that character again. Huge guy, really intimidating, and I love that character from the other film as well.
Badass villains, badass characters. I love the names of some: Rictus Erectus, Scrotus, Toe Jam, Vulture, Smeg, the Octoboss. George Miller has really created a world here, and he knows all these characters so well. So he's able to, fully flesh these characters out and give them things, not just an action piece, but he really inhabits these characters. Everybody feels alive in this world and everything. And it's easy to sympathize with Furiosa's character because she's kidnapped and she has to fight for her life to stay alive and, ultimately go head to head with this gigantic dude. And, it's a big finale and a big payoff. And, there's only a few minor complaints for me. There's more CGI in this one. Several scenes where it was really noticeable. So there's a couple points docked away from that. George Miller didn't use as much CGI in Fury Road. At least it didn't feel like it. It's been a few years since I saw that one, but yeah, that was mostly all practical. This one had some shots from like afar in the distance that you could tell it was, CGI, and a couple of up close things that were CGI. So, not as much practical. You can just imagine how much extra work that is, especially for those like long distance shots and stuff. And instead of going to, spending hours and days to film some of those things, it's just easier to do. And I understand it, but then it definitely does, it's evident on the screen. I noticed it.
Same complaint for me as well, as very noticeable the CGI visual and certain scenes. The backdrop, one I was thinking of early on in the movie between Furiosa and her mom on a motorcycle. Looks like they're about on the bike for about 5 feet, and you can tell it's completely fake background. It was like the canyons and the desert and everything looked fake. But yeah, just some minor complaints. Overall, just a really fun movie, a great blockbuster to watch at the theater, have some popcorn, sit back and have a great time in this post-apocalyptic world. jump on a motorcycle, wear a crazy ass helmet with horns on it, see what happens. And that's basically this movie's, you know, the set pieces, action pieces were incredible. Camera work was incredible. George Miller loves his zooming in shots when they're driving. He's like, see, like right up at their face. And yeah, just a fun ride. It really brought all the love from the last film and really expanded on this universe and this prequel. It made you care about Furiosa. I knew Taylor-Joy was really good in this, and I thought she really sold this character. Hemsworth was also great as Dementus, badass villain, the rest of the supporting cast. But I was very pleased with the final product of Furiosa. It's a movie I definitely rewatched. It's a movie we both highly recommend. So go check it out in your local cinema. I'm giving Furiosa a 4.5 out of 5. I need Taylor-Joy hair pieces.
I too am going to give Furiosa a Mad Max Saga. I'm going to give it a 4.5 out of 5 George Miller hair pieces. Let that wild boy make another one of these. Come on, Hollywood. Who cares about the box office? Overall, he's created this world. 5 films in at this point.
Yep.
Let him round it out. Let's get an even 6. Come on. He's got one more, and he's not getting any younger. Give him the keys. Let him take us for one last ride.
I mean, they keep doing it with Ghostface, so why can't they do it with Mad Max?
Exactly, yeah. And he wants to. It's not like he's like, I don't have anything to say.
How many more situations can Ghostface get into? You know, so
Right.
Mad Max, at least there's a universe, a world they can build upon and do so much with, and just keep bringing it back with the awesome set pieces and action and practical. Mwah. So I want to hear from all you wild goons out there. What'd you like about Furiosa? What didn't you like about it? What's your favorite film in the franchise? Let us know in the comments below, and don't forget to subscribe. Also, check out the Wild Uncles on Facebook, X, and Instagram, and our website, Cinephellas.com, for latest, greatest TV movie news and reviews.
Feels good to be in the middle of the summer blockbuster season. It's been a little bit of a rough go box office receipt wise, but we've been having a blast in the theater. Who cares, you know, when we're movie fans like us going to see these big films in the thick of summer. You know, what better way to spend a hot summer day than in a nice cool theater watching one of these big blockbusters. And we can't wait to review more for you guys. We're going to be back very soon with some, you know, all the big movies this summer. So until the next time, for the next Cinephellas movie review, I'm Uncle Henry Hill.
And I'm Uncle Logan Taylor-Joy, signing out until the next movie review. Cheers!